I've got 38 feet of synthetic gut string here, and I'm going to try to string in a head TI radical oversized racket with this 38 feet of string using an ATW pattern. When I go and look up the pattern on this racket, I know it's going to tell me to string it with 2 pieces of string. And when I get that 2 pieces of string, it's going to tell me how long the main piece is and how long the cross piece is. But nothing's going to tell me how long the short side is and how long the long side is, because that's not a recommended pattern for this racket. So I'm going to try to figure it out on my own. If I look at the outside dimensions of this racket now, the racket is about 14 1/4 inches. I'm just going to call that 14 inches from outside to outside for the head. Since I have 9 mains on each side, that'll be 9 feet plus 2 times 19, 18, so that's 10 foot 6 inches of string that I need to string the left side of this racket. And all I'm doing is multiplying the length of the racket times the number of mains on one side to find out how long the short side has to be. Since I have 4 loops of string in the bottom, which is an even number, my strings are going to start in the head. Because I have 9 mains on each side, those mains will end at the throat. So what I'm going to do with my ATW pattern is I'm going to use the short side to run the bottom cross, the outside main on the long side, and the top 2 crosses. So what I need to do is find out how much string that's going to take. It'll take that much to string the bottom cross, it'll take that much to string the outside main, that much to string one cross, and that much to string the second cross on the top. Now I have to get my 10 foot 6 inches. So I'm going to go 4 racket lengths, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that'll give me let's see, 9 feet over and above the string it took to do the around the world pattern. So if I go one more time, that's 2 foot 3 inches, so that's 11 foot 3 inches, and all I really wanted was 10 foot 6 inches. So I need another 18 inches, so there's a foot, and there's 6 inches. So that's how long my short side has to be. Let's try it and see if it works. Now I've got my 2 mains ran in now, my 2 center mains ran in now, and I'm going to start my mains. When I start my mains, I always start them by clamping one string with a fixed clamp and a starting clamp on one side of the racket, and then I'm going to pull tension on 3 other strings. I've got the center 14 mains ran into my racket now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the short side and I'm going to skip 8 throat, run in my 7th main, and skip 8 head, run in my outside main on the short side. I'm going to leave a loop of string long enough to fit into my gripper down here. Then I'm going to run my bottom cross. Once I get done here and pull this tension on all this string, I'll have enough string in here left to do the top 2 crosses, and that's what I want to do. So now I'm going to take the long side and I'm going to run my 8th main up the racket. I'm going to stop on this short side for a second, but I'm going to pull tension on it first and clamp that with a starting clamp just to hold it there. Okay? I'm using the long side string now to run the third cross in my tennis racket. I'm going to run the top two crosses after I get done running the rest of the crosses. This is the 19th cross in my racket. So the third cross, both being odd, they'll be ran the same. So I need to go under and over the same strings. Let's see how much string I've got left over. Okay, on the long side, I had 27, let's just say 30 inches or 2.5 feet too much. So as long as I don't run short on the top, maybe 36 feet will string an 18 by 19 racket. Now I'm going to move on to the short side. First thing I need to do is take off my starting clamp here. Then I need to pull all of these strings through. Full tension on the outside main, the bottom cross, and the weave and tension the top crosses. Okay, I've got my top cross ran in, pulling tension on it now. And I'm going to tie it off. Okay, let's see how much I've got left here. I had about 30 inches on the other side. That is probably 15 inches, 16 inches, so I've got maybe 4 feet of extra string. So it took about 34 feet of string to string the racket, and it takes about a foot of string on each end to tie it off. So if I really get my measurements right, I might be able to string this 16 by 19 racket ATW with 36 feet of string. I hope you enjoyed this video, and the next time you get a racket that you want to string that you're going to use an unconventional pattern on, or if you're going to use an ATW pattern and there's no suggestions for how much string is on the short side or whatever, just remember that if I take the outside measurements of the racket and I multiply that times the number of mains, it'll tell me pretty close how much string I need to do that. I was using a synthetic gut string. If you're using a polyester string that's going to stretch less, you need to account for that and use a little bit more string. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day. I hope you enjoy your stringing.